Hey guys, it's Miss Gregory. We're going to go through together in class how to watch the instructional video and take notes in your composition notebook. So let's get ready. This video is on greatest common factor. It relates to the number systems. So it's NS.6.2.4. The 6 is for 6th grade. NS.6.2.4. That's talking about the specific strands and standards. Again, I'm going to show you something in class to help you understand that. The MAFS is part of the Math for Florida standards, and the numbers and the NS for number systems means the same thing. Alright, so let's get started. Here's what you will need when you are watching this at home by yourself. This is a good reminder. When we're at school, I'm going to be telling you as well. So you're going to use the notebook paper from your composition notebook. You're not going to tear it out. You're not going to use loose leaf. You're not going to use another spiral notebook. Your composition math book is what you need with you. We'll note the page number and date and get started in just a minute. Make sure you've got a pencil, highlighter, and some pens. From time to time, you might need all of them. Let's get started with a pencil. When you're at home and you are listening to the video, you need headphones or earbuds so that you can be less distracted with any noise going on around you and that you can pay attention. Now, when we're watching this one together, you won't need that. But if you're ever watching one to catch up at school or to move ahead, then you would need your headphones so that you can watch the video without interrupting others in the classroom. Alright, again, when you are at home, you need a quiet place with your electronic device and your headphones so that you will not be distracted. Okay, so don't forget those things. Moving on. This was kind of a screenshot from a page that maps out the actual standard, everything that we are going to do for this standard. But what we're going to focus on for this particular video is what's underlined in red. By the time we're finished, we'll be able to do the greatest common factor, the least common multiple, and the distributive property. So we're going to work on all of these together, this whole entire standard, but this video we're going to start with just the greatest common factor. Okay, greatest common factor of two whole numbers less than or equal to 100. So the numbers aren't going to be larger than 100, but can be anywhere up to that. They're going to be whole numbers, so you don't have to worry about decimals or fractions for this part. Okay? Moving on. This is what your paper should look like. Notice it's notebook paper, so that's telling you should be on your notebook paper. Also notice the little pencil icon in the top right. The pencil icon is also a reminder to you that you should be writing down everything that you see. Alright, top line of your paper, you've got the date for today. The title is GCF. And we want you to note the standard so that you can always look up anything you need to by just putting in NS.6.2.4. Okay? Alright, so these are some definitions that I need you to copy. If you were at home, you would pause the video, make sure you copy everything on this page, and then start back the video. I'm going to pause the video to give you time to copy the vocabulary while we're in class. Okay, so we will talk about factors, the GCF, factor trees, getting to the prime factorization, and you can see a picture of a factor tree in the far right corner written in green where they've taken the number 20 using prime numbers, and some of the examples are given. You will see that broken down. Again, we'll talk about that in class, so we're going to move on. Okay, again, another notebook page, another pencil showing you that you need to write all of this down. So we're just continuing the notes. You will probably still be on the same piece of paper, but if you need to move to the back of the paper, then just continue your notes. All right, so we're going to work through this example together, finding the greatest common factor of 12 and 36. Remember, factors are the numbers you multiply by. Step 1, you need to list all of the factors for each number. You need to list all of the factors, ways you can multiply and get 12. Then you need to list all the factors or ways that you can multiply and get 36. Step 2, circle the ones that they have in common, noting the one that is the largest that they have in common. So, everything for 12. 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. Notice they're in an organized list in numerical order. We've talked about the little rainbow before in class. That way, if your numbers are organized, you will not miss a set of numbers that you could multiply by for your factors. All right, so again, fairly easy numbers. You can see 36. There's a lot more factors that you can multiply by to get 36, so look at the long list and check that out. Notice there are a lot of numbers that they have in common. They both have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 in common. But the largest number that they have in common is 12. So that's going to be your answer. The greatest common factor of 12 and 36 is 12. And notice down here in the orange, the GCF can't be smaller than either of the numbers you're starting with. The GCF is not going to be smaller than 12 or 36. Okay. Again, pause here if you are still copying notes. And until you copy them all, don't resume the video. Okay, another example shown very similar way to work the problem by listing all of the factors and then circling the ones that they have in common. So finding the greatest common factor of 10 and 21. Now the factors for 10 have already been listed and the factors for 21 have already been listed. So if we were talking about common factors, we can see that they have number 1 in common. Do you see any other numbers that they have in common? That's it. The greatest common factor is 1. Okay? Knowing that prime numbers are only being multiplied 1 in itself, it makes it easier to know when you're at a prime and you can stop. Now 1 technically is neither prime nor composite. I'm having to do this with my fingers, so it's not the neatest. Okay, the number 2 is the only even prime number. Okay, and for some more practice in class, we are going to use the workbooks that you will be given to look at the guided practice, lesson 1.1 on page 10 in your textbook or workbook, whatever you want to call it. There's a picture of what the textbook looks like, and there's a picture of a pencil on notebook paper to remind you that you will be writing this in your notebook. So you're going to work the problems that have to do with greatest common factor, and then you're going to rate your knowledge based on, are you a 1, 2, 3, or 4? 1 being the lowest, you've never heard of it. 4 being the highest, you are a math master and can teach it to someone else. So as you write the problems for number 1, you're going to show your work and give the final answer on your paper. If after watching the video, practicing, talking together in class, you're still having trouble, here are some other resources, such as your Florida Math book. my YouTube page with other videos in addition to this one on greatest common factor. There are some others listed, but you guys can kind of use your own resources and find what works for you. Alright, okay guys, that's a wrap. The end. Miss Gregory.